Good evening, everyone. We're set to begin. I'd like to call the November 19th organizational meeting of the board to order. I'd also like to bring to everyone's attention that this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. We'll begin with our land acknowledgement. The Rainbow District School Board would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Anishinaabeg, including Atikameksheng, Anishinaabeg, and Wahnapitae First Nations. We would also like to recognize that we are situated within the Robinson-Huron Treaty Area of 1850, and we want to recognize the inherent rights of the Anishinaabeg that have maintained these lands from time immemorial. We'll begin with our roll call. Trustee Dabowski. Trustee Dabowski, are you? I do see Trustee Dabowski's online, and yes, she's waving, so she is present. Trustee Farrow?
Present.
Trustee Gibson?
Present.
Trustee Cosmerly?
Present.
Trustee McCauley?
Present.
Trustee Dewar?
Present.
Trustee Hunda?
Present.
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
Present.
Trustee Clement?
Present.
Student Trustee Nuchtai?
Present.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel. I think there's some technical difficulties, but I do see Trustee Wilson Ziegel online, so we are going to mark you as absent in case you're having a hard time communicating through technology at this point. There we go. Okay. Having roll call done, I'd like to move to approval of the agenda. Motion reads that the agenda for the organizational meeting of the board of November 19th, 2024 be approved. I need a mover. Trustee Gibson, and seconder, Trustee Corbier-Addison. Ready to call the question unless there's comments or concerns? Okay, we'll do a poll vote for the approval of the agenda. Trustee Clement?
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor.
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor.
Trustee Farrow?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor.
Trustee McCauley?
In favor.
Student Trustee Nuchtai?
In favor.
And Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried. Next, we're going to go through a few pieces here, which include the election of the chair. I'll just let you know that according to our practices, we do have a process for this, and I will run the process for chair. Once that process is completed, I turn the meeting over immediately to the elected chair. There is a ballot process. Our scrutineers for this are Superintendent Watchnuk and Superintendent Fisher. Of those nominated and who allow their names to stand, the person receiving a clear majority of votes will be declared elected, and we'll move forward from that. If there are more than 2 candidates, the person receiving the fewest votes, if we don't have a clear majority, will be dropped, and we'll continue with a second round of ballots. So we'll work on that. At this point, I'll begin with the call for nominations. So, would anyone like to recognize or nominate someone? I'll start with Trustee Gibson.
I'd like to nominate David Farrow.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for this?
I'll second it.
So it's moved by, that is nominated by Trustee Gibson and seconded by Trustee McCauley. Thank you. Are there any other nominations? So I'll call for nominations 3 times, as per our practice. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Trustee Gibson? Thank you. We have a motion that nominations be closed. Moved by Trustee Gibson, seconded by Trustee Hunda. we'll have a poll vote to close nominations. So this vote is to close the nominations, just to be clear. Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee McCauley,
In favor?
Student Trustee Nuchtai,
In favor?
and Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
So the motion to close nominations is complete. Now I'm just moving through, since there are no other nominations. Trustee Farrell, we just want to make sure that you will allow your name to stand for the position of chair.
Yeah, yes, I do. Thank you.
So as there are no other nominations and Trustee Farrell has allowed his name to stand, I can declare Trustee Farrell the chair of the Rainbow District School Board. And with that, we have a motion that Trustee Farrell be declared acclaimed chair of the Rainbow District School Board. Could I have a mover for that?
Oh.
I'm just going to go to our online group. I see Trustee DeBoski. Thank you. And a seconder, Trustee Cosmerly. So with that, we will go to a vote. So again, this vote is to acclaim Trustee Farrell as the chair of the Rainbow District School Board. And we'll start with Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee McCauley,
Well, in favor, yes.
Student Trustee Nuchtai,
In favor?
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
The motion is unanimously carried. Congratulations, Chair Farrell.
Thank you.
At this point, I'd invite you to say anything you'd like to share, and then after that, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you very much, Director. First and foremost, I just wanted to say a huge, big, heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you as my colleagues, once again, for putting your faith in me to chair the Rainbow District School Board. It's been an absolute rewarding experience so far, and I'm just so pleased to be able to continue for another year. So thank you. It means absolutely the world to me. It's amazing sitting here going through this. It's kind of daunting. And it's kind of emotional too, and it's really very, very much an honor. So I thank you so much. I'm so pleased that the true collaboration that we have undertaken over the last several months is really starting to pay dividends, and I look forward to the good things that we will do together over the next year. I want to take the moment just to thank Bruce as the secretary of the board for our assistance. I also want to say a huge thank you to Cindy Whitson, who is the executive assistant, who looks after all of us and all of our needs. And sometimes I know we can be very needy, Cindy, but we really do appreciate all the work that you do to help us out and make our lives a lot easier. So thank you, Cindy. I wanted to make sure that you knew that. I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all the staff that are here tonight, as well as the folks that are online tonight. The daily work that you do with kids is so extremely appreciated by us. You make every one of our rainbow schools great. Our business, I feel, as trustees, is to be here for the students, and that's students first. So as we move forward in the upcoming year, I think that keeping student success and student well-being as a top priority must be our core belief. So I know that any decisions that we make over the next years will be the right one if we keep students focused. So once again, it's my heartfelt thank you for your support, and it's an honor to serve the Rainbow District School Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Farrell, and congratulations once again. I'll now turn the meeting over to you to chair.
Thank you, Bruce. Just going to get my paper sorted out here for a second. So So the next item on our agenda is the election of the vice chair of the board. So at this time, I will now call for nominations for the position of vice chair. Are there any nominations? Trustee Gibson.
Thank you, Chair Farah. I'd like to nominate Trustee Linda DeBasque.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Okay. Yes, and that's Trustee Corbett Addison. Thank you. Any further nominations? Trustee Dewar?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Macaulay.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? We have a seconder. That's Trustee Cosmerly. Thank you. Any further nominations? We have somebody online? No. Okay. So I will ask this 3 times, please. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, we need a motion that nominations be closed, please. We have a moved by Trustee Cosmerly and a seconded by Trustee Gibson. So we'll have a poll vote to close the nominations. Thank you. Go ahead, Director.
Trustee Colon,
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee Macaulay,
In favor.
Student Trustee Nuchtai,
In favor?
and Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
The motion to close nominations is carried.
Thank you, Director. Now I will ask the nominees in reverse order of nominations. Trustee Macaulay, do you allow your name to stand?
I do, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Corbett Addison, do you allow your name to stand? Sorry, Trustee DeBoski, do you allow your name to stand?
Thank you, David. I certainly appreciate the nomination and the support throughout this time. However, I am going to humbly decline the nomination with absolute gratitude and continued commitment to serve Rainbow District School Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee DeBoski. You move here now? Okay, yeah. Okay, as there are no other nominations and Trustee Macaulay has allowed his name to stand, I declare that Trustee Macaulay, the Vice Chair of the Rainbow District School Board. And we'll need a motion that Trustee Macaulay be acclaimed the Vice Chair of the Rainbow District School Board. So that's moved by Trustee DeBoski and seconded by Trustee Dewar. And we'll have a poll vote. Yes, I think we got her. We got her. Do you have a question, Trustee DeBoski?
No, that was to move.
Okay, thank you.
Motion.
Thank you.
All right, we'll vote.
Poll vote, please, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee Macaulay,
In favor.
Student Trustee Nuchtai,
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Trustee Macaulay, on being the Vice Chair of the Rainbow District School Board.
Thank you to my nominator and to all of the support. It's been a very interesting time for me on this board. I've learned a lot, and I have a lot to learn. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you that have supported me. A lot of you are veterans compared to me, and I look forward to working with Super Chair Dave to get everything done. I'm very touched, very humbled that you've entrusted me with this role. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Macaulay. Now, I'd like to just say a couple of words of thanks to our outgoing chair, Trustee Linda Dabowski. I want to say, from all of us, Linda, thank you so much for the service that you provided to this board. You are now fully engaged in your new role as Grand Council Chief of the Anishinaabe Nation, and we know that you are just going to rock that position and really serve the communities of this province very well. I so personally valued your excellence, your excellent counsel that you gave us as Vice Chair. You demonstrated on so many cases an exceptional knowledge, integrity, which is so important to me, honesty, common sense, and something that we forget about in this really difficult world right now is kindness. So I know you will be a tremendous success in your role as Grand Chief, and we just wanted to say thank you once again for your service as Vice Chair to the Rainbow District School Board for the last year. So thank you, Linda. Linda, would you have anything to say, like, make any comments?
Thank you, and thank you for your words, Chair Farrell. I cannot express enough the support and the reciprocal kindness to my fellow trustees and colleagues as well to our board staff and of course to our director. I'm also grateful that Alex has accepted his nomination. I work well too with Alex, as we all do. And this really isn't goodbye. I've, through different, I guess, leadership positions I've held, I've always felt it's important to always ensure we give our best and our whole heart to what we do. And Chair, you noted correctly, the work I'm now undertaking has taken a lot of my time, and I always believe in the greater good, and I'm so grateful that we have our entire group, our entire board of trustees that care greatly and deeply for our students and their success, and continuously. We have a great group of trustees that I've had the opportunity to have, one-on-one discussions with, to share ideas with, and to ensure we're always moving forward. So I am just eternally grateful for the opportunity, for the trust given to me by our colleagues. And this is not goodbye. It's I'm still part of the team. I commit to being an active part of the team in my role as First Nations trustee, and continue to support the efforts of our board, our staff, and I'll always be absolutely proud of all of our students' accomplishments, no matter what. Even the students that don't get showcased at board meetings, every single one of our students in Rainbow District School Board are absolutely important, and I'm grateful for the changes that we have made together, especially for Indigenous and First Nations students. Absolutely. I believe that Rainbow District School Board is number one, of course, in that regard. So again, Chimigwech, and thank you for the opportunity, and I continue to look forward to the good work that our new leadership team is going to embark on, and just a big Chimigwech. Thank you.
Miigwech, Linda, thank you so much. So we're moving on now to section number 8. We'll try to keep things rolling here, and it's the Ontario Public School Board Association Director and Alternate. I'm going to actually, before we move on to this, turn to Trustee Cosmerly just to give us a brief explanation, because we've had some changes around here. And Trustee Cosmerly, also, as I turn to you, is there any change in the wording of those motions that we need to make at this point in time?
At this point in time, no. But I'll speak first to the OPSPA director, and then when you get to the alternate, I'll speak to that. Yeah. So in terms of the OPSPA position, the OPSPA director position, no action has been taken at this time with that position for our board. However, the OPSPA board of directors approved major changes to its general bylaw last July, including changes to its term of office for directors. our board is in the process of updating bylaw 3 of our governance bylaws to align with these changes, but for right now, there are no changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So with that in mind, we're going to call for nominations for the OPSPA director. So the floor is open for nominations. Trustee Hunda, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chair Farrell. I would like to nominate Trustee Judy Cosmerly.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder for that? Seconded by Trustee McCauley. Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Trustee Gibson.
I would like to nominate Trustee Corbier Addison.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a seconder for that? We have seconded by Trustee Clement. Are there any further nominations? Seeing none online, so I'll ask 3 times. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations will be closed. I'll need a mover for that. Moved by Trustee Clement, seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. And we need to have a poll vote to close nominations. Go ahead, Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison?
In favor.
Trustee Dubosky?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee, oh, no, sorry.
Trustee Farrell?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor?
Trustee McCauley?
In favor.
Student Trustee Nuchtai?
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel?
In favor.
The motion to close the ballots is carried.
Thank you, Director. And seeing that nominations are now closed, nominees are now asked to confirm their willingness to stand. So we'll go in reverse order. Trustee Corbier Addison, do you allow your name to stand?
I will.
Thank you. And then Trustee Cosmerly, do you allow your name to stand?
I do, thank you.
Thank you very much. So at this point, we have Trustee Corbier Addison and Trustee Cosmerly that have allowed their names to stand. Nominators have an opportunity to comment on their nominations. So we'll start in reverse order. We'll start with Trustee Gibson. Do you have any comment about your nominee?
Sorry, you want me to comment?
Yes, if you
not
might-
the person that's
no.
nominated?
You have an opportunity as
okay,
a nominator, yeah.
Well, I wanted to nominate Trustee Licia Corbier Addison because I've had some conversations with her and she's expressed an interest in taking up a role at that level, and I know she's already participated in some committees at OPSPA and I think enjoyed and had a meaningful experience there, so I wanted to give her that opportunity to expand on that role. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. And then we'll move to the nominator of Trustee Corbier Addison, Trustee Hunda. Do you have any comments? Sorry.
I nominated Trustee
Cosmerly.
Judy Cosmerly.
Yes.
She has remarkably handled the position for us for the last few terms. I've spoken to her personally and thanked her on behalf of the board that she has done, in my opinion, a wonderful job representing the Rainbow Board, which through experience I know is tricky. Northern boards tend to get a little ignored. You have to have a strong voice. And we all know she's a very hard worker, and I appreciate all the work that she does on our behalf and the reports that she brings back. So, yeah.
Thank you, Trustee Hunda. Now, Trustee Corbier Addison, as a nominated, you have the opportunity to speak to your nomination now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Trustee Farrell. I have been on the board for a few years now, and I do enjoy the work of OPSPA. I wholeheartedly feel that Judy Cosmerly is a great representative for our board in terms of her work with OPSPA, and has been a great mentor for doing that position and modeling how to do it very well. I do, I have been doing work with the Indigenous Trustees Council of OPSPA and the Education Program Work Group of OPSPA for the last year and a bit, almost 2 years, I guess. And I do enjoy that work. So I just thought I'd leave my name in there. Maybe it would fit better as an alternate, but it's a process.
Thank you, Trustee Corbier-Anderson. Trustee Cosmley, would you like to address the trustees?
Just to say, I've greatly enjoyed the role of OPSPA director, representing our board at the table. I've been bringing our issues to the table, and there have been changes that have been made in the past year where OPSPA directors will be required to be at every single meeting. So I have the time to attend the meetings in person or electronically if it comes down to that. Given the fact that I've done this for a couple of years, I'm much more comfortable speaking up on behalf of our board. I have challenged OPSPA on a couple of pieces, especially with respect to their increase in their own fees on behalf of our board at a recent meeting. I've developed networks with other trustees who are on the OPSPA board of directors and have brought back some of the ideas that they present, and I would like to continue doing that. So that's all I have to say. It's an excellent position. It's something I really love. It fits with my skill set. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmley. So at this time, we will need to conduct a vote. So I'm going to ask our scrutineers, Superintendent Washnecht and Superintendent Fisher, to leave and to conduct the vote. Ballots are coming now. And Trustee Dabowski, you will be contacted by one of the scrutineers online.
Thank you.
Okay, trustees, we have a motion that Trustee Cosmley be declared elected the Rainbow District School Board voting director to the Ontario Public School Boards Association. I will need a mover for that. Moved by Trustee McCauley, seconded by Trustee Dewar. We will go to a poll vote.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski, Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee McCauley,
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci,
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel,
In favor.
and we'll come back one more time to Trustee Dabowski. Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. And our next section of our agenda is the election of the OPSPA alternate. And so we'll start with call for nominations. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes, I forgot Trustee Cosmerly. We did want you to come back and speak to the changes. So go ahead, Trustee Cosmerly.
Thank you. Just to clarify, there are changes with this position. The role of alternate continues to exist, but not as it did previously. Last July, OPSPA's Board of Directors approved changes to its general bylaw, including the elimination of the alternate director position. The role of alternate delegate continues to exist in the general bylaw, meaning an alternate would attend regional OPSPA meetings and/or the OPSPA annual meeting in the event that the delegate is unable to attend. Our board is in the process of updating our own governance bylaws to align with these changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. Trustee Clement, go ahead. Yes, looking for nominations. Go ahead. Nominations are now open. Okay, so we have Trustee Corbier Addison. I need a seconder. Seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. Okay, looking for further nominations? So I'll ask 3 times. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nomination? Seeing none, nominations are closed. We'll need a motion to close nominations. Moved by Trustee Cosmerly and seconded by Trustee Dewar. Now we will go to a poll vote. Director?
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski, Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee McCauley,
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
The motion to close the ballots is carried.
Thank you very much. Now, seeing that nominations are now closed, Lisa, we will now ask you to confirm if you're willing to stand for the position of.
Yes, I'm willing to stand.
Thank you very much. And now there are no further nominations. So as there are no further nomination and Trustee Corbier Addison has allowed her name to stand, I declare that Trustee Corbier Addison is the OSPA, I have to do this right, the Ontario Public School Board Association, an alternative for the Rainbow District School Board. So congratulations, and we'll need a motion that Corbier Addison be declared acclaimed the Ontario Public School Board Association delegate for the Rainbow District School Board, and that's moved by Trustee Hunda and seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. And we'll go to the director for, do you have a question, Trustee Gibson? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, could you just reread the motion? Or did you read it exactly as written? Or?
Yeah, so I'll read it one more time for you, okay? So that Trustee Corbier Addison be declared, I'm not using elected, I'm using acclaimed Rainbow District School Board voting alternative to the Ontario Public School Board Association. So that causes some problems.
So point of information, I guess to Trustee Cosmerly, they're no longer the alternate, they're only the alternate at the AGM, is that correct?
Yes, through you, Chair. It's alternate for the AGM and for regional meetings, so there is still voting involved.
Okay, so then I'd like to move an amendment.
Okay,
that Lisa Corbier Addison be declared acclaimed Rainbow District School Board's voting alternate to the Ontario Public School Boards Association's AGM and regional meetings.
To AGM and regional meetings?
Yeah, and that's a friendly amendment. I just thought that would cover.
Okay, right on. Do you have a seconder for the amendment for Trustee Gibson?
I know, but that's the future. We can't.
Yeah.
For it to be good. Well, my problem is, I'm hearing it's fine as it is, but we're saying that Trustee Corby Addison could be a voting alternate when they could not, like they couldn't at the next OBSPA meeting, only you can. So that's why I'm just saying to specify what it means. Now, I understand that in April, we could have a new thing and we could change everything, but at this point, they are not the voting alternate. They are only the voting alternate in those two situations, is that right?
I have to go to Trustee Cosmely for this.
So I would just clarify that we are not saying Board of Directors anywhere in here. So I still believe that we're fine. This is a broad wording, and I think we're still fine with the way the wording is, because the alternate would still be an alternate, a voting alternate, but as I clarified just verbally, it would only be to the delegate piece. So I personally don't see any issues with the way it's worded. I think it's broad enough, but I'll leave it up to the members or to the trustees
Okay, so
to determine if they want to change.
So what I'm hearing, Trustee Cosmerly, is that we're in a transition period right now. I'm also hearing that a broad language is probably better than specifying. It's all a moot point. We need somebody to second Trustee Gibson's amendment.
That's all right, I'll withdraw the amendment.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Gibson. Appreciate that. Okay. So I will just for clarification one more time, the motion is going to read that Trustee Corby Addison be declared acclaimed the Rainbow District School Board's voting alternative to the Ontario Public School Board Association. Okay? So we have, I'm not sure, do we have a mover for that?
Yeah, Trustee Honda and Trustee Cosmer.
Okay, so we had movers. It was Trustee Cosmerly and seconded by Trustee Honda. Okay, thank you. And now we'll call for the poll vote.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski, Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Honda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee McCauley,
Favor?
Student Trustee Nucci,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Trustee Corber Addison. Yeah. I just got to pull my other sheet out here. Just pulling out a couple other sheets here before we move forward. So now we move on to membership on standing board committees. So trustees have been asked to submit names to appear on the ballots for various board committees. Nominations will also be accepted from the floor. If required, a vote by secret ballot will be conducted for each committee. And at the end, we will confirm all standing committees with a final motion. So I'm going to go through the list that has been given with me, and I'm just going to go across the top and start with SEAC. And the Special Education Advisory Committee requires 2 trustees on it. We have Trustee McCauley, who has offered to sit on this committee, and we have no other further person at this point in time. Yes, right on. So one of these SEAC reps will be accessibility, yes, yeah. Yeah, so the other thing is too, if, it's just the director clarified that one of the trustees that sits on the SEAC committee will also be a representative on the accessibility committee. And we also have Trustee Cosmerly, who has indicated that she is interested in the SEAC as the accessibility committee. Go ahead.
So I've put my name in as an alternate for SEAC
Okay.
in order to have my name for the accessibility.
Okay.
I had put my name in as alternate, sorry.
Yes. So what we're looking for is a permanent trustee for SEAC.
If I could change my nomination to
Yeah.
SEAC committee
Okay.
nomination instead of alternate.
Okay.
Just check one more time.
Okay. All right, thank you. We can do that, Trustee Corber-Anderson. Just want to check one more time if there's anybody that's interested in SEAC. Okay, super, thank you. Then we will go on to SEAC alternate. We have 3 folks who've put their names on for that. And it's Trustee Dewar, Trustee Corber-Addison, and Trustee McCauley. Sorry, Trustee Dewar, Trustee Cosmerly, and Trustee McCauley.
So now those 2 are in.
Yes,
So we have 2 alternates left.
we have 2 alternates, right?
Yeah. So who's left? Is Trustee Dewar, Trustee McCauley. He's already.
Chair, I'll withdraw my name.
Okay, yes. So Trustee McCauley, because you've already put your name in as the SEAC one, we're going to withdraw you, which leaves us with 2 alternates, which is Trustee Dewar and Trustee Cosmerly. Okay, perfect. And for Accessibility Committee, it's either, do we do this here now, or does that happen at the SEAC committee meeting? Okay, so for the Accessibility Committee, we need 1 SEAC rep. That's either Trustee Corber-Addison or Trustee, only Trustee Cosmerly put her name forward. Is there anybody else that's interested in that position out of the 4 people that are on SEAC? Correct? Yep.
I think it stands.
Okay, I think we stand as is. So we have Trustee Cosmerly as the Accessibility Committee as a SEAC rep. We do not have to do anything with audit this year because audit is a 3-year appointment. We go to the Environmental Committee. It's 1 trustee plus student trustees. And we have student trustee Nujitai, who has put her name forward. We have Trustee Dewar as well as Trustee Corber-Addison. So what we need to do is, would somebody be willing to withdraw their name, or do we need to do an election? Trustee Corber-Addison.
I'll withdraw my name.
Thank you, Trustee Corber-Addison. Anybody else interested in environmental? Okay, so Trustee Dewar will be our representative on the Environmental Committee. Now we need, next standing committee for equity and inclusion, we need 3 trustees. We have Trustee Clement, who's put his name forward, Trustee Gibson, who's put her name forward, Trustee Cosmerly, as well as Trustee McCauley. So is there any one of those 4 people willing to withdraw their name? Okay then, so we have to move on with an election, right?
Ballots.
So we'll get our scrutineers to bring out ballots, and we'll have an election for the equity and inclusion with the 4 members, Trustee Clement, Trustee Gibson, Trustee Cosmerly, and Trustee McCauley, and we're voting for only 3 trustees. Thank you. So I have the results of the vote for the Equity and Inclusion Committee, which includes 3 trustees. So congratulations to Trustee Clement, Trustee Cosmerly, and Trustee Gibson. Moving on to our next committee, it's the First Nations Committee. We have Trustee Dabowski, who is automatically appointed that committee as our First Nations trustee. We need to fill 2 other places. We have 3 trustees who've expressed interest: Trustee Clement, Trustee Corbett-Addison, and Trustee Dewar. Would one of those 3 be interested in withdrawing? Trustee Dewar. Trustee Dewar will withdraw? Thank you, Trustee Dewar. So that means for our First Nations committee, we have Trustee Clement, Trustee Corbett-Addison, and Trustee Dabowski as our representatives. So thank you for that. Now we're moving to labor relations. We have 4 trustees plus the Ontario Public School Board Association representatives. So Trustee Cosmerly will automatically sit on the Labor Relations Committee. We need 4 other reps. We have 5 people who have expressed interest. We have Trustee Clement, Trustee Corbett-Addison, Trustee Gibson, Trustee Hunda, and Trustee McCauley. Would any one of those 5 consider withdrawing their names from the committee? Seeing none, so we'll call our scrutineers, our Superintendent Washnuk and Superintendent Fisher, to have a vote for labor relations, reminding all trustees that we are voting for 4 trustees for labor relations. Okay, thank you. We'll be back with you with the results. Thank you. And we're voting for 4. Okay, friends, we have the results of the votes for the Labor Relations Committee. And I just want to congratulate, first of all, Trustee Hunda, Trustee Clement, Trustee McCauley, and Trustee Gibson. So those will be our 4 members of the Labor Relations Committee, along with Trustee Cosmerly, who will be the Ontario Public School Board Association rep on the committee. Now moving to PIC, we have one trustee required. We have 2 names for PIC. We have Trustee Dewar and Trustee McCauley. Would either one of the trustees like to remove their name? Okay, so this is PIC, and trustee, we have two trustees, Trustee Dewar and Trustee McCauley, and Trustee Dewar has offered to remove her name, so that fills our quota. So congratulations, Trustee McCauley, on that. And now, everybody's favorite, the school year calendar. We have student trustees that are part of it, and we need 2 trustees to represent the school year calendar committee. We have Trustee Gibson, and we require 1 more trustee. Trustee Dewar. Okay, Trustee Dewar, thank you very much. Now that fills our quota for that, so we have their 2 members for school year calendar. Thank you very much. That's Trustee Dewar and Trustee Gibson. And the last committee that we need to fill is Student Senate. We have 2 trustees. We have Trustee Dewar and Trustee Hunda, as well, of course, both student trustees are part of that committee. So we've filled the numbers that we have, so we'll have both Trustee Dewar and Trustee Hunda be our trustee representatives on that committee. So our standing committees are now filled, and I believe that the Secretary of the Board has done a great job making sure that we have everybody's name there. So good. So now, we need a motion that the membership of the standing board committees be approved. So that's moved by Trustee Gibson, seconded by Trustee Corbier-Addison. Any questions, discussions, or clarifications anybody needs? Thank you very much. We'll call for the poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor?
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee McCauley,
In favor.
Student Trustee Nucci,
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson-Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thanks very much, Director. Number 10, Governance Policy, Government-05, Alternates. At the annual organizational meeting, 2 alternate trustees shall be chosen by the board to be used when circumstance warrant with 1 or both trustees are needed in place of the chair and/or vice chair to carry out duties required under this policy. So we'll open it up to nominations for the first alternatives. So we need a call for nominations. Is there anybody that is interested? Yes, go ahead, Trustee Gibson.
Thank you. I'll self-nominate, please.
Gibson, thank you. Trustee Cosmerly?
I nominate Trustee Corbier-Addison.
Okay. And we need a seconder for that? Sorry, I should have had a seconder for you, Trustee Gibson. We just go back for a second.
I'll second for Gibson.
Seconded by McCauley. Okay. And Corbier-Addison. Moved by Cosmerly. And a seconder, please. Trustee Clement.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Dewar. Trustee Hunda. Okay. And I need a seconder for that, please. A seconder for that, please. Seconder Cosmerly. Thank you. Any further nominations? I'll ask 3 times. Go ahead, Trustee McCauley.
I'd like to nominate Bob Clement.
By McCauley. And seconder, please. By Trustee Hunda. Okay. Any further nominations? I'll ask 2 more times. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, the nominations are closed. We need to have a mover, please. For nomination closed, Trustee Cosmerly, and a seconder for Trustee McCauley. And we'll need a poll vote by the director.
So a poll vote to close nominations. Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dubowski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Farrell,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee McCauley,
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
The motion to close the ballots is carried.
Thank you. Now, seeing that nominations are now closed, nominees will be now asked to confirm their willingness to stand for office, and this is for first alternative. I'll start with Trustee Clement. Are you willing to stand?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Hunda, are you willing to stand? Trustee Corber-Addison, are you willing to stand?
Yes.
And Trustee Gibson, are you willing to stand?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, in reverse order, Trustee McCauley, as the nominator of Trustee Clement, do you have the opportunity to say a few words?
Well, Bob's experience would go a long way if we found ourselves in a situation where the alternate had to take over. He's had lots of experience in the chair, and I think he's been a loyal soldier here, so I have no problem in nominating him.
Thank you. And Trustee Corber-Addison, or sorry, Trustee Cosmerly, as a nominator of Trustee Corber-Addison, would like to say a few words?
Certainly, Trustee Corbier-Addison has had some experience as Chair of Strategic Planning. She's interested in learning positions on the board, so this would provide an opportunity for her. Thank you.
Thank you. And Trustee Gibson, as self-nomination, you could speak for yourself, but I could also go to Trustee McCauley to say a few words if you'd like.
I don't mind speaking for myself.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to speak to the governance bylaw, but I've just realized when looking it up that the motion actually says that this is for the first alternate as per board policy Gov 05, but I guess we renumbered our policies at some point because our bylaw 5 is delegations to the board. So I think it's supposed to be for, I'm just looking for the right number. It's for when there's code of conduct violations, right? So I think it should be amended to bylaw 9. I just noticed that, so I just want to mention that. So yeah, the reason why I'm interested in this position is attention to detail. I like to notice details, and I've actually read, oh my gosh, it's got to be over 20 code of conduct violation reports. It's something I take a particular interest in, and there has been a lot to read over the last couple of years, which has led to the changes that we all know are coming around the code of conduct. So it's just something I've always taken a particular interest in, so I think it's something that I would have some aptitude for if it ever came to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. And you're right about code of conduct, but I'm also thinking a bigger picture of that too. It's if the chair or the vice chair are unable to do their duties for any reason, the first alternative and the second alternative would then step in.
Okay, so then maybe it's supposed to be bylaw 6, duties of chairperson. Like, I'm just not sure which bylaw.
I think there needs to be some cleanup there for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
for sure. Yeah, okay. Super. And now, Trustee Clement, we'll go to you as being nominated for the position. Anything you'd like to say?
Just that we have a year left. I have had the experience. I have helped the chair now in other committees that I have done. I've still been doing the SAL a lot and the expulsions that I don't like, but I've been doing a lot of those. And I think I'd step into the position very well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Clement. Trustee Corbett Addison.
Thank you. I just have had the privilege to be appointed as the vice chair, or sorry, the chair for the Strategic Planning Committee within the last year, and have enjoyed the learning curve in chairing meetings, to be involved in the organization with regards to the background for agenda prep, and I feel that I'm give fairness to all those within the room, and I like to leave my name in as an alternate for this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay. And Trustee Gibson, you have the opportunity to speak for yourself again.
Sorry, I was actually going to raise a point of order.
Okay, point of order.
Because I'm just looking at a previous organizational meeting minutes, and this, as far as I'm aware, only relates to the code of conduct for board members. It's not for stepping in any other capacity. So I just want to clarify that before we go any further. Because at our last meeting, this was to choose an alternate for Board Policy Gov 05 Code of Conduct board members.
Okay.
But that is now a different bylaw, so it doesn't appear that this has been updated.
Okay.
I guess I would need to move an amendment to change this to bylaw 9, to take out bylaw 5 and change the 5 for a 9.
Okay, I'm going to go to the secretary for some advice on this. Okay, just hang on. Okay, so on your point of order, Trustee Gibson, and point is well taken. We can, in my mind, we can proceed two ways with it. We can put the second number in here also. I think it was Gov 09 that you had mentioned, or we could take in the spirit of cooperation that we have some work to do to clean these up, and we'll put it on the agenda for the Strategic Planning Committee, so on and so forth. I'm open to any suggestions on those.
Can I speak?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was out of order for me to suggest this at this time, but if we're going to have an election and people are allowing their names to stand, I want them to be certain of what you're allowing your name to stand for, what the position actually is, and that wasn't clear. So I'm willing to go to the vote, but I will be moving an amendment to change it from 5 to 9, so it's clear what we're voting for.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And moving that amendment right now, correct?
No, I'll move it once.
Okay.
As long as everyone understands.
Yes, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Trustee Gibson, on that. Okay, now just take my breath for a second. So what we have now is we have an election for the first alternative. We have Trustee Clement and Trustee Corbett Addison and Trustee Gibson standing, so I'll ask the scrutineers to conduct the vote, please. Voting only for one person. Okay. Okay, trustees, we have the results of the election for the first alternate, I should say. So congratulations, Trustee Clement. Will be our first, so we need to, we have a motion that Trustee Clement be declared elected the first alternative as board policy number GOV 05, but I believe we have an amendment. Trustee Gibson? Okay, so we're just going to, okay. Okay, so we're at the point right now is we're just at a bit of a hold. Okay, go ahead. So the motion that we have is that Trustee Clement be declared elected the first alternate as per board policy number GOV-05. We have that moved by Trustee Hunda and seconded by Trustee Corbier-Addison. And are we good to go ahead with the vote? Okay. Go ahead, poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee Farrell?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Cosmally?
In favor?
Trustee McCauley?
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci?
In favor.
And Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel?
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we move to the second alternate position. So we'll call for nominations. At this time, we'll call for nominations for the second alternate. Trustee Cosmerly.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Corbier-Addison.
Thank you. And it's moved by Trustee Cosmerly and seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any further nominations? Trustee Dabowski.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Dewar.
Trustee Dewar. We need a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Seconded by Trustee McCauley. I'll ask, any further nominations? I'll ask it 3 times. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, we need a mover that the nominations be closed. Moved by Trustee Gibson and seconded by Trustee Corbier-Addison. And we need a poll vote from the Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee Farrell?
In favor?
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor?
Trustee McCauley?
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci?
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel?
In favor.
The motion is carried.
Thank you very much. Seeing that the nominations are now closed, nominees are now asked to confirm their willingness to stand for office. I'll do this in reverse order. Trustee Dewar, do you willing to stand for a second alternate?
Much appreciated, but no.
Thank you very much, Trustee Dewar. Trustee Corbier-Addison, are you willing to stand for office?
I am willing.
Thank you very much. So, seeing that we have only one nomination and that there are no other nominations and that Trustee Corbier-Addison has allowed her name to stand, I declare that Trustee Corbier-Addison is the second alternate of the Rainbow District School Board. So I'll need a motion that Trustee Corbier-Addison is declared a claimed second alternate of the Rainbow District School Board. Moved by Trustee Hunda and seconded by Trustee McCauley. And poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee Farrell?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor?
Trustee McCauley?
In favor?
Student Trustee Nucci?
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel?
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. Moving on to the second last part of our organization agenda is ballots. I need a mover and a seconder that the ballots for all positions be destroyed. Moved by Trustee Cosmerly and seconded by Trustee Clement. Director Bourget, please, full vote.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison,
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Farrell,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmely,
In favor.
Trustee McCauley,
In favor?
Student Trustee Nutstein,
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director, and I need a motion now that we are adjourned. Moved by Trustee Cosmely, seconded by Trustee Clement. We are now adjourned. We are going to take a 10-minute
Of the ministry requirements and directives related to the plan. And one of those requirements is that the plan is shared with the Board of Trustees. So tonight's presentation is our opportunity to provide an update and keep you informed. We will also include a review of how we are leveraging funding from the ministry to provide staffing to support initiatives throughout the board. Following that, we will do a review of the ministry-defined priority schools within the board, and we'll share some celebrations related to math achievement and look at the data related to student achievement and attitudes towards math. After looking at the data, we'll review the priorities we've selected as our focus within the board and how we're implementing these throughout the system. As educators who care deeply about mathematics instruction, Principal Kosher and I are very excited about the progress we've made and the trajectory we've established. Our educators are well supported and our students are seeing increasing success. We will maintain our focus and fidelity to ensure continued growth in this area. With that, I'll turn it over to Principal of Program Dan Kosher.
Thank you, Superintendent Fisher. At previous board meetings, Director Bourget shared the Ministry of Education's Student Achievement Plan for all school boards in Ontario. The plan highlights indicators of success. The Math Achievement Action Plan is part of the province's Student Achievement Plan. All schools are required to complete a math action plan with school-level and classroom-level strategies, as well as measurable outcomes to address the 3 priority areas identified by the Ministry of Education for improving mathematics instruction. 1, ensuring fidelity of curriculum implementation and use of instructional and assessment practices with a proven track record of enhancing student achievement. 2, engaging in ongoing learning to strengthen mathematics content knowledge for teaching. 3, knowing the mathematics learner and ensuring tasks, interventions, and supports are relevant and responsive. In order to ensure alignment across the system, the school improvement planning process now incorporates the strategies from the Math Achievement Action Plan within the board priority of numeracy. As we move through each of these priority areas this evening, we will highlight how they are being implemented at the board, school, and classroom levels. In order to ensure a consistent system focus, specific strategies have been selected at these levels. This ensures that resources and professional development can be targeted, intentional, and in place in all schools and classrooms. The following slides provide examples of what information is being entered into the ministry portal for the November 15th, 2024 initial Math Achievement Action Plan report. In each of these color-coded sections, we are required to provide specific information about the strategies being used by the board and how we will measure progress and success. While Superintendent Fisher and I work closely with school principals and provide overall guidance and direction for the implementation of the Math Achievement Action Plan, coordinators and consultants provide direct support to schools. This includes supporting educators in their delivery of the math curriculum through board and ministry resources and implementation of high-yield strategies and best practices for math instruction. They also prepare presentations and materials for the system and schools on PA days and at other learning opportunities. Finally, they work closely with administrators, including the system principal, to set school goals, gather data, and select strategies and resources to support ongoing math learning. Our math coaches work directly with teachers and students. 8 math coaches are embedded at our priority schools. They provide direct math instructions for half of each day in either a grade 6 or 3 classroom, and then provide additional math support for the remainder of the day. This includes working with teachers to incorporate high-yield strategies, supporting assessment practices, and collaborating with staff to identify next steps and gap closing measures related to specific student needs. In their role, they also provide direct support to students, engaging in remediation or intervention outside of the math block in order to address needs or gaps in student understanding. As part of their rollout of the Math Achievement Action Plan, the ministry identified a number of priority schools throughout the province. These schools were selected based on EQAO results for 2021-2022 and represent the schools requiring the greatest support. Because EQAO data was used as the determining factor for the selection of priority schools, the ministry has focused grades 3, 6, and 9 as the cohorts to be reported upon to determine the effectiveness of the implementation of strategies at the system, school, and classroom levels. Each priority school has a math coach or consultant and coordinator attached to it. Direct support is provided to each school as the math coach works in conjunction with school administrators and classroom teachers. This is the list of priority schools identified by the Ministry of Education. As mentioned, these schools receive specific, targeted support from our math coordinators, consultants, and coaches to ensure strong, consistent mathematics instruction. The Math Achievement Action Plan is an online tool that allows the ministry to review our plans for math achievement and pre- and post data collection. A number of data sources are being used for local planning and monitoring purposes, including EQAO and report card data related to student achievement. Attendance rates and information about students' perceptions of math are also considered. As mentioned, the ministry's focus for data is on students who are currently in grades 3, 6, and 9. Some of the initial data we are collecting is from the end of term 2 last year. A staff survey will be completed 3 times during the school year. One has already been completed in November and will also administer in March and June. The survey will enable us to gather data on teacher understanding and implementation to provide focused support on areas of need. By emphasizing the importance of teacher instruction, we continue to build capacity around best instructional practices to achieve sustainable, long-term, and impactful change. While we continue to move forward and work to increase rates of student success, we have much to celebrate. EQAO results that were publicly released this fall show that nearly 3/4 of our priority schools improved in at least one area of the assessment. As a board, our results have improved each year for the past 3 years in the primary, junior, and grade 9 assessments of mathematics. Last year, the board made greater gains than the province in the primary and grade 9 assessments. The provincial math lead also shared with us that only a very small group of boards showed improvement in all 3 provincial math assessments. Less than a dozen English language publicly funded school boards showed improvement in grades 3, 6, and 9 EQAO. We're very pleased that we're part of that small cohort that experienced success across all math assessments and look forward to building on that success. EQAO is a key source of data as we make decisions about resource allocation, strategic planning, and instructional focus. We have seen improvement every year for the past 3 years in the primary, junior, and grade 9 assessments. From this information, and by digging deeper into EQAO, report card marks, and other indicators of student success and engagement, we know that the tools and strategies we've implemented are having the desired effect. Through reviewing staff surveys and student input, we were able to refine our focus to ensure that those strategies that are most effective are being implemented. Digging deeper into the data tells us that our students would benefit most from focused instruction on concepts related to numbers and algebra. With this in mind, we want to ensure that our assessment and instructional practices focus on building student understanding of numbers, computations, and algebraic thinking and reasoning. Along with specific content, we also identified a need to focus on questions that challenge students to select and accurately use mathematical skills and concepts in a variety of contexts. While we continue to teach basic mathematical skills like counting, subtraction, and multiplication, students also need instruction and opportunity to apply mathematical thinking. by providing students with the foundational skills they need to succeed, and then challenge them to use those skills to solve real, engaging problems. They build their ability to think and problem solve mathematically. This balance of building the foundation and then creating opportunities to build upon the foundation provides students with the best opportunity for success in mathematics. Along with student achievement, we want to know if students see themselves as mathematicians and have a positive mindset. Not only do students need the skills to be successful in mathematics, they need to be confident in their ability to complete challenging tasks and problems. With this in mind, we work with schools and teachers to provide varied opportunities for students to engage with math and strategies to build student resilience and tenacity when working through problems. We know that confidence and competence are closely linked. We need to model and build students' ability to persevere while also giving them the skills they need to be successful. As you can see from this data, in grades 3 and 6, we've seen some improvement over time in students' confidence in mathematics. Grade 9 remains an area where there's an opportunity for growth. Knowing that student confidence often impacts student performance, we maintain a focus on building that confidence and interest in mathematics. Once again, through a focus on engaging tasks that are connected to real-world applications, teachers show students the value of math in their everyday lives. Through modeling and coaching of resilience and perseverance, teachers also work to help students build their stamina and their belief that they can do hard things. We have made some changes to our Math Achievement Action Plan based on what we learned in year 1 of the plan. After reviewing the data and considering the strategies and resources that were having the greatest impact on teacher practice and student learning, we updated our action plan to emphasize those items that were most effective. This includes strategies related to teacher professional learning, as well as specific actions in our schools and classrooms that support student success. Specifically, we introduced math demonstration classrooms this year, as this was a very successful strategy with our Literacy Lighthouse classes. Our math coaches are the demonstration teachers and welcome teachers from their geographic area to observe their teaching in the morning, followed by teacher collaboration in the afternoon. By narrowing our focus, we're able to support and promote best practices and resources to have the greatest impact across the system. This narrowed focus also ensures that our professional learning can be specific and consistent, building capacity in classrooms across the system. The first priority in the Math Achievement Action Plan, ensuring fidelity of curriculum implementation and use of instructional and assessment practices with a proven track record of enhancing student achievement, speaks to 2 primary areas of focus. In the context of mathematics instruction, fidelity means that educators align their instructional practices directly with the Ontario curriculum, and that we deliver high-quality lessons and instruction throughout the board. Here you can see that we have selected specific strategies at the board, school, and classroom levels. These were intentionally selected for a number of reasons. First, they are strategies that align with one another at each level. Secondly, they meet an identified need within the system of providing clear, curriculum-aligned instruction that includes high-impact strategies. By creating and providing resources for teachers at the board level, supporting principals to ensure that long-range planning is clearly connected to the curriculum and best practices, and then supporting teachers in the use of proven and impactful instructional and assessment practices, there is a continuity of support throughout the system. The second priority defined by the ministry relates specifically to professional learning and building educator content knowledge in mathematics. We know that teachers who understand math content are better equipped to understand how students learn and to teach them effectively. With this in mind, we're focused on providing resources, professional learning, and support for teachers to build their math content knowledge and understanding. This includes offering subsidies for additional qualifications in mathematics, resources that have embedded professional development modules, and leveraging professional activity days to provide opportunities focused on building teachers' confidence in math instruction. Math subsidies have been highly utilized. This year we have 30 available for teachers, and 14 have already been assigned. We anticipate even more demand as the year continues. We track math qualifications in our system. At the end of October, 347 teachers out of 1,120 have at least one additional math qualification, which represents 31% of our teachers. In our priority schools, this number is even higher at 33%. We are looking to grow these numbers as we continue to build capacity for math instruction in Rainbow schools. The third priority identified by the ministry is focused on the importance of knowing the students we are teaching and providing them with instruction that is meaningful, impactful, and timely. We continue to work at a system level to review data from multiple sources in order to inform our planning and actions, as well as to direct support to specific schools and cohorts of students. We've done explicit work with principals and with teachers during PA days around examining their EQIO data and considering which students are succeeding and who requires additional support. Working with our math coaches and consultants, we are also developing common math tasks that are being implemented in grade 3 and 6 classrooms. These common tasks allow us to consider best practices and adjust our teaching to ensure we are meeting students where they are in order to move forward. Last year, we introduced a common scope and sequence document for mathematics from grades 1 to 6. This resource took a carefully considered approach to the curriculum, providing teachers with a clear roadmap for understanding based on their grade level. This summer, our team of educators worked to revise the document, refining the content based on feedback from educators. They also added in and updated materials and resources to keep the document current and in alignment with best practice. For students in the intermediate grades, a similar resource was created. Similar to the scope and sequence, this document provides a variety of resources, lesson plans, and other materials that support best instructional practices. This website, created by a dedicated group of Rainbow educators, provides a framework for mathematics instruction in the intermediate grades that is available to all teachers and supports them in their use of best practices and approaches. To support a continuum of learning, a similar document is available for grade 9 mathematics. This resource, like those previously shared, provides a clear structure for instruction in math. Material is presented in a functional sequence that allows students to build, practice, and revisit skills throughout the semester. As a system, we want to focus on those actions that yield the best outcome for as many students as possible. We also want to ensure that we sustain our focus on continued growth. While we've seen improvement over the past several years, it is through sustained focus that we will continue to grow. With this in mind, we are continuing to emphasize the use of high-yield strategies and resources. Here we can see our Rainbow District School Board All-Star cards of high-yield strategies. We shared these with staff last year, and they include 8 strategies that have been proven effective and impactful. They include deliberate practice, flexible groupings, direct teaching, learning goals, success criteria, reteaching, feedback, and questioning. These strategies are embedded in professional learning and are a regular focus with staff. By revisiting these strategies often and with intention, we improve classroom practice and student outcomes. In conjunction with the Math Achievement Action Plan, the Ministry of Education released a document focused on high-impact instructional practices in mathematics, pictured here. This document contains specific, detailed information about various strategies that teachers can implement in their classrooms. With this document, our team works with schools to integrate and strengthen the use of these strategies throughout the system. From the table of contents, you can see what the ministry is recommending as high-yield strategies in math instructions: learning goals, success criteria and descriptive feedback, direct instruction, problem-solving tasks and experiences, teaching about problem-solving, tools and representations, math conversations, small group instruction, deliberate practice, and flexible groupings. We've taken many of these and turned them into strategy cards for all teachers to use and to include in their instructional toolkit. For our Math Achievement Action Plan, we need to measure the extent to which our teachers are implementing these high-yield strategies. Principals are reporting back to us examples of these strategies in use, and we also collect survey data about the use of these strategies. We wanted to highlight some of the high-yield strategies in action. Here you can see how a teacher is providing explicit instruction around math vocabulary and thinking. Students gather at a common area with the teacher, who reviews terms and concepts orally and with visual representations. Direct instruction involves engaging students directly and providing them information and demonstration about specific concepts or skills. The most effective direct instruction includes interaction with and amongst students, highlighting specific vocabulary and ideas, and demonstrating the skills in context. Here we can see our students engaging in deliberate practice. This means they're taking the skills and concepts taught in the classroom and putting them to work in purposeful ways. Opportunities for practice are embedded throughout the math block. This gives students a chance to try out their mathematical thinking, while the teacher can observe and provide feedback in the moment. This strengthens student understanding and ensures they receive immediate coaching so they can adjust their thinking and practice on the fly. Along with direct instruction and deliberate practice, our educators work to provide students with opportunities to work and learn together in purposeful ways. By grouping students strategically and allowing them to collaborate, build their thinking, and communicate with one another, they're not able to only improve their own understanding, but that of their peers as well. These opportunities are carefully curated to maximize learning and purposeful conversation. We know that students learn best when math is not purely abstract, but includes real-world representations and visualizations. By providing students with different ways of interacting with mathematical ideas and concepts, we not only strengthen their understanding, but also engage them by showing them that math is real, tangible, and valuable. In this image, we can see a group of students who are trying to understand what a million might look like using base 10 blocks in their classroom. Our focus on mathematics means that we want students to have a variety of opportunities to access math learning and many varied opportunities to experience math in a variety of contexts. Through careful approaches to assessment and instruction, teachers tailor math learning to ensure that students are learning the skills they need, are provided opportunities to practice those skills, and to extend their thinking by communicating with one another and the teacher. Through careful feedback, support, and planning, students are provided the greatest opportunity for success. At the system level, we continue to work with school staff, including teachers and administrators, to strengthen math content knowledge and ensure consistent instructional approaches that benefit all students. We want our students to not only learn about math, but to see themselves as mathematicians. From kindergarten to grade 12, Rainbow educators provide math instruction that teaches fundamental and foundational skills, encourages students to think about math creatively and critically, and shows them the value of math in their everyday lives. We know that mathematical proficiency is a skill that will serve students well throughout their school careers and beyond. With this in mind, we remain committed to ensuring strong, well-considered mathematics instruction for all students. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Fisher.
So, in summary, our Math Achievement Action Plan has all the elements that we believe will contribute to student success and improved achievement once again this year. We have resources that are available to all teachers from grades 1 to 9 to support consistent practice. We are using common assessments. We are supporting schools through coaches, consultants, and coordinators working directly with teachers in their classrooms to see the immediate effect on teaching and learning. We have aligned the school improvement plan with the Math Achievement Action Plan so that all staff see that math improvement is required of all schools, not just the priority schools, and that high-yield instructional practices will get us there. Once again, I'd like to thank key staff supporting this initiative. I'd also like to thank our wonderful school administrators and classroom teachers who are the key for the success of our students. At this time, I'd be pleased to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Superintendent Fisher, and thank you, Principal Kozar. I know you're probably not feeling that great tonight, but really appreciate your presentation. Any questions from trustees? Trustee Clement.
If you go online, there's a math blog, and everybody seems to have the same problem. Every area, every school, and marks aren't coming up. But there are some. And some talk about, is this a problem where maybe it's the class size, or are we getting the best instructors to teach math? Or these changes that we're making will take time?
Well, I think our teachers are always refining their practice and they're always learning. They're also being responsive to the students who are in front of them. So we're just, I think, consistently making progress in what we're doing. It's definitely something that the ministry is thinking about a lot because it's a provincial issue for sure. So I'll be very honest, I don't go on the math blogs. I'm not a social media person. So what I care most about is the learning in our personal classrooms, and I am seeing some growth there, and I am seeing that the kids are a lot more enthusiastic about their learning. So I'm seeing that it will come with time, and as long as we're making steady growth, we're pleased with that.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Trustee Gibson.
Thank you. I know that this presentation was focused on the younger grades, only going up to grade 9, but I was just wondering, is there anything that we're doing to encourage students to take math in grade 11 and 12 to see that they continue to choose math at those higher grades?
Yes, absolutely. So there was a graphic at the beginning of the presentation around the student achievement plan for the school board, and some of that is tracking percentages of students who continue to take math beyond grade 9. And so absolutely our program leaders are working very hard in our secondary schools and encouraging students to continue to move forward with that. So we have put in some baseline data last year, and then in the spring we are revisiting that baseline data to see the number of students who are pursuing senior math courses.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing none, once again, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank you, Superintendent Fisher and Principal Kozer, for your ongoing wonderful work in advancing math in the Rainbow District School Board. Thank you so much for staying late tonight and giving this wonderful presentation, and we very much appreciate it. So have a great night. Moving on with our agenda, we're at Section D, reports from closed meeting of the board. We have no report tonight. E, old business. We have a set of previous minutes that we need to look through. So I need a mover and a seconder that the minutes of the regular board meeting held on Tuesday, October 22nd, 24 be approved. Moved by Trustee Hunda and seconded by Trustee Corbier-Addison. Give you just a check, just a second to see if there are any errors or omissions. I think everybody had a pretty good read of them. Seeing none, we'll ask for a poll vote. Director, go ahead.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Nucci.
In favor.
Student Trustee Wilson-Ziegel.
In favor.
The motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Reports and recommendation from board committee. Now, we have 3 notices of motions that have emanated out of some of the work that we've been doing in strategic planning and governance, and so this is just following the procedure that we've established. So we have these 3 motions that are here tonight, what we need, and we will be dealing with them at the December 10th board meeting. So for purpose tonight, all we need is a mover for these. There are no seconder or no discussion. Any discussion will happen on the December 10th meeting. So the first notice of motion is that the change to bylaw 3 as attached be approved. We just need a mover for that. That's a move by Trustee Cosmerly. Second is a notice of motion that the change to bylaw number 6 as attached be approved. And that is moved by Trustee McCauley. And our third notice of motion that the change to the governance bylaw committee information page as attached be approved, and that is moved by Trustee Gibson. Thank you very much for that, and we'll deal with those on December the 10th. New business. Public Education Symposium 24-25. We're looking for people that would be interested in going to PES in January, so I'll look for names at this point in time. Trustee Cosmerly, Trustee Corbier-Addison, Trustee Gibson, Trustee Hunda, Trustee Farrow, Trustee Clement. You have to go. You have to go to the public service, the PES conference in January. Yes. Yes. He was deep in math, right? Trustee McCauley? So I'll just go through it once again. I have Trustee Cosmerly, Trustee Corbier-Addison, Trustee Gibson, Trustee McCauley, Trustee Hunda, Trustee Farrow, and Trustee Clement. Did I miss anybody? Okay, so we have a motion that the board approve the attendance of the following trustees. That's Trustee Cosmerly, Trustee Corbier-Addison, Trustee Gibson, Trustee McCauley, Trustee Hunda, Trustee Farrow, and Trustee Clement at the 2025 Public Education Symposium in Toronto on January 24th and 25th, 2005. Moved by Trustee Hunda and seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. We'll do a poll vote.
Trustee Clement.
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Farrow.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Nuchtai.
In favor.
And Student Trustee Wilson-Ziegel.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. There are no notices of absence tonight. Number 3, Director's remarks. Director Bourget.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. I will be brief. I just want to echo my thanks to our dedicated math team under the direction of Superintendent Leslie Fisher for their excellent presentation this evening. We do continue to provide great leadership and support for continued growth thanks to Superintendent Fisher, Principal Kojar, our school administrators, our consultants, coordinators, coaches, and school staff. Also like to just quickly thank our team for Next Stop Grade 9 and the administrators who attended, as well as program staff. There was a great turnout, engaging presentation, and an informative and welcoming booths on a variety of topics. So I want to thank all the principals, system principals, and consultants and coordinators for those booths, which were very great. Also, quick thank you to our fall coaches and volunteers. We wish our teams that advance to OFSA the best of luck in competition that mostly takes place this week. And I'd like to conclude my comments by sharing my gratitude to all of you, the Board of Trustees, for your leadership and support of our staff, students, and families. We greatly appreciate what you do, and we look forward to working with you in your various roles and committees established this evening. Our work together is making a difference for our students and our staff, and we appreciate your leadership, teamwork, and support very much. Thank you, Chair Farrell.
Thank you, Director. Other items. OPSPA Director. Trustee Cosmerly.
Just a couple of things. I want to talk a little bit about PES first. So registration is now open for PES being held January 24th and 25th. This year's theme is Time is Now. There's a very well-rounded agenda put together, including information sessions on core education funding, the director's performance appraisals, changes to the trustee code of conduct. As well, keynotes include a presentation by Ovid William Mercredi on nationhood, one on good governance by Assistant Deputy Minister Giselle Bazanta, and an interesting perspectives piece on education, on Ontario education by representatives of all 3 major political parties. The full agenda is posted on the OPSPA website. Student trustees are also welcome at PES, just to say now, in case our student trustees are interested in attending. And at the awards ceremony, which will be on January 25th, several trustees will be honored for their contributions to public education, including Trustee Bob Clement, who will be publicly recognized for his 25 years of service as a trustee. Anyone planning to attend PES should book their hotel accommodations as soon as possible because the rooms go really fast. To let you know as well, the next OPSPA Board of Directors meeting is on November 29th and 30th in Toronto, and I will be attending in person. OPSPA staff continue to work on a draft document for boards regarding trustee code of conduct. They're very hopeful the document will be finalized soon. They're working with their legal counsel to put the document together. And all trustees should now have received draft minutes from the Northern Council meeting that was held in Thunder Bay in late October. Unfortunately, no one from our board was available to attend the meeting, though we did submit a regional board report and a Northern profile. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. And in regards to student trustees attending PEZ, we can give our student trustees some time to think about it, and we still have time to vote on it again in December. So we'll make sure that is dealt with in agenda setting, okay? Fantastic. Student trustees, report. Trustee, where are you here? Trustee Wilson-Ziegel, I can see you. There you are. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there with you in person today. I have been sick for like 2 weeks, so it's not good. But I just want to say good evening and congratulations to everyone elected. This month has been very exciting for Trustee Newt-Shy and I. At our last Student Senate meeting on November 4th, we discussed plans for our upcoming Stand Up Speak Out conference tentatively scheduled for Friday, May 9th, 2025. We have officially decided on a theme for the conference this year, which is intelligence. This theme will take the emphasis off of book smarts and help students develop leadership skills using the 7 types of intelligence: body smart, music smart, self smart, nature smart, logic smart, word smart, and people smart. Recently, Trustee Newt-Shy and I have been working with Cambrian College to book a space to host the 100 people that this conference caters to. Additionally, the Senate has been working on a social media campaign to introduce the members of Senate on Instagram. As you will hear from Trustee Newt-Shy, we both attended the Ontario Student Trustee Association's Fall General Meeting. This conference has been the highlight of my month, and I learned several valuable lessons from fellow student trustees, as well as guest speakers like the president of the Ontario Public School Board Association, Kathleen Woodcock. During my time there, I had the privilege of meeting with the Public Education Interest Group, where I hold the position of Northern School Board's regional representative. This group and I led breakout sessions for all student trustees from public boards. A very good opportunity for student trustees from Northern boards. We discussed challenges we face being located in Northern Ontario and next steps in our educational advocacy. Looking ahead, I'm super excited for our last Student Senate meeting of the 2024 held on Monday, December 2nd. And thank you guys.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson-Ziegel. I think Trustee Nugent has some more to offer.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson-Ziegel, and good evening, everyone, and a special congratulations to everyone who was elected this evening. It has been a very busy yet exciting month. As a Senate, we've now established our year project that the Senate would like to focus on for the duration of the academic year. The Student Senate will be creating authentic and personable scripts that will be sent out to every school in the Rainbow District School Board, elementary and secondary, on board-recognized days of significance. This project originated from the Truth and Reconciliation Day on September 30th, where a group of senators and Trustee Wilson-Ziegel and I created a message to be relayed on this day of significance. After receiving tons of positive feedback, we as the Senate are now more than happy to continue with these scripts for the remainder of the academic year. Our goal for these scripts is to integrate the values of the Senate into all Rainbow schools by showing diversity and passion through these messages. Senators are encouraged to reach out to their school's Students' Council in regards to creating scripts for days of significance that are more prominently shown in their school community based off of their school's demographic that are not board recognized. This may look like Latin Heritage Week or Rock Your Mocks Day. Moreover, during the school updates, many of our senators spoke about their exciting Halloween-themed events, such as Halloween dances or Halloween for Hunger. Additionally, Lockerbie student senators gave exciting updates about the annual Kids Caring for Kids Cancer Drive. As a proud Viking, I am more than happy to relay the total amount raised this year is an impressive $45,000. Cancer Drive, which took place on October 24th, was definitely a night to remember. With a month filled with promise and hope, the Cancer Drive Committee has much to be proud of. A very special shout out to this year's co-chairs, Francesca Battistoni and Alice Felina, for carrying the burning torch of the magic of Cancer Drive. You surely made Northern Ontario proud. I am very pleased to share the exciting news regarding the Ontario Student Trustees Fall General Meeting Conference attended by myself and my wonderful co-trustee, Trustee Wilson-Ziegel, attended 2 weeks ago. Throughout this conference, student trustees from all across Ontario had the opportunity to gather and share their passion for advancing education in all of Ontario. And boy, were there some extraordinary ideas. As a leadership team, we work tirelessly to provide student trustees with impactful and meaningful professional development for student trustees to bring back for their boards. Some seminars included a LinkedIn building workshop, mental health as a student trustee, and compassionate leadership led by myself and my partner Carter. Additionally, each student trustee has an opportunity to join an advocacy interest group. These groups work closely with the chairs of each pillar to further extend their advocacy on that topic and spread the message found prominent within their advocacy interest groups. Furthermore, student trustees also met with their regional representatives to speak about important matters found in their region. I'm beyond proud of student trustee Wilson Deagle for leading the way for all Northern Public student trustees and blazing the path and creating an environment for everyone to share their voices and concerns. Overall, this conference was both a huge success in the leadership team's eyes and the General Assembly. We as a leadership team are already beginning to plan our next conference held in February, taking place in Ottawa. Thank you to all you, trustees, for passing the motion to continue to finance our board memberships to further allow Trustee Wilson Ziegel and I to attend these very valuable conferences. Our next meeting will take place on Monday, December 2nd at 5:30 p.m. here in the board office. All trustees and valued guests are more than welcome to attend our meetings and are very encouraged to meet with the group of fantastic senators sitting on the Senate this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Nujitai and Ziegel Wilson, for a fantastic, comprehensive report with all the great work that you're doing. Any trustees have any questions for student trustees? Seeing none, so once again, thanks very much for the great work today. So that moves to trustee remarks. Any remarks? Trustee McCauley.
Thank you, Chair. I had the great pleasure of visiting Westmount School on November 7th in company with the director and Superintendent Washnock, and looking on with just absolute amazement at the work that was being done there. The interaction between staff and students was amazing, and although we've seen video and we've listened to talks about what is happening there, to actually see it and be a part of it is something else. And I was very moved by the experience, and I thank everybody. Assistant Principal Erin Franz and her staff took us through, explained everything, and it was absolutely amazing. So I thank everybody that was involved in that, and thank you.
Thank you, Trustee McCauley. Trustee Cosmerly.
Craft fair season is upon us. This past weekend, I attended the Confederation Secondary School Craft Fair, something I look forward to every year, and I'm proud to say one of the best craft fairs around. I want to congratulate teacher organizer Jesse Brooks, his 2 staff helpers, and his 125 student helpers for a job well done. This year, there were 147 tables, 104 vendors, 10 more than last year, and a whopping 3,000 people attended the fair over the 2 days, beating last year's total by 50%. And I won't say how much money I spent. The money raised from the craft fair is going towards developing a university-style fitness center for Confed students, the cost of which is ultimately expected to be around $100,000. So far, $30,000 worth of weight equipment has been installed with the proceeds from past craft fairs, and the $24,000 they raised last weekend moves the school a bit closer to its ultimate goal. With Confed being known as in the Valley for its focus on sports and its health and wellness schism, perhaps we as a board might look at how we could help Confed reach its goal faster. Food for thought. For now, I thank the staff, students, and vendors for a great craft fair, and I look forward to next year's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly, and I hope you didn't spend too much money on trustee gifts this year at the Confed Fair. So. Any other trustee remarks? Trustee Clement.
I just want to thank the schools for Remembrance Day celebrations, whether it be a bigger school, a smaller school. I managed to get to Massey, as sick as I was, and I supposed to go to Espanola the next day. I was done, so I apologize for that. Just information item. Today I'm listening to the news, and the trustee out of the Sioux, they are going to challenge the province on the video meetings and how many you can go to. They're talking that for them it's a huge expense. For some of them will have to travel. I know there's a trustee right across the street from me. When he leaves, he's gone for 2 days. So There's quite distances, and I think their director is going to look into it. So it may be coming around again for Northern Ontario schools, because I know they blanketed again in Ontario instead of looking at everybody. So it should be interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Clement. Anything further? Trustees' remarks? Okay, thank you very much for that. Move on to, I have a few remarks tonight. First of all, once again, I wanted to say thank you to all my colleagues for placing their trust in me again as chair this year. It's very much appreciated. I participated last week in our first conference as chairs with the new Minister of Education, Jill Dunlop. It was a relatively short meeting. I think it was just sort of the feeling out period, so we're looking very much forward to the productive relationship with the new minister, and more to come, and I will share with you some of the topics in an email a little bit later on. Sudbury Secondary School, we're presenting 2 more public performances of Beauty and the Beast Junior this week, on Friday, November the 22nd and Saturday, November 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults and $15 for youth, 12 and under, and can be purchased at the door or advanced through the school cash online. Now, the 4th Professional Activity Day of 2024-2025 school year will take place next Friday, November the 29th. There will be no school for students, and parents and guardians can access a summary of the learning taking place on that day on the board website. And next Saturday, November the 30th, staff will host a career fair from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lockerbie Composite School. Positions currently available include teachers for English, French, and Ojibwe, administrative assistants, cleaners, designated early childhood educators, educational assistants, and a carpenter. Human resource staff and hiring principals and managers will be on site to conduct interviews, answer questions, and accept applications. To ensure an interview time, candidates are encouraged to pre-book by submitting their application to hr@rainbowschools.ca by Tuesday, November the 26th. And grade 8 students and their parents are invited to the information nights at all Rainbow Secondary Schools between November and February. Upcoming information nights include Lively District Secondary School on Wednesday, November the 27th at 6 p.m., Confederation Secondary School on Thursday, December the 5th at 6 p.m., and LaSalle Secondary School on December the 5th at 6:30 p.m. And a full list of school dates and times is available on the board website. And next month, Rainbow District School Board invites students and staff to bring litterless lunches to school. They will also be challenging to decrease waste and divert textiles from landfills by using the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, repurpose, repair, and recycle. Research suggests that an average person buys 3 times more clothing than they did in the 1980s. With textiles waste on the rise, largely due to increased sales of fast fashion items, more garments are ending up in our landfill sites. And something that's near and dear to my heart, as the festive season approaches, the Rainbow District School Board will once again participate in the Egerberton Kids Helping Kids food drive. Staff and students will work together to collect non-perishable food items and monetary donations to assist area food banks, and we need that service more than ever in today's society. And finally, the Parent Involvement Committee will host their next meeting on Tuesday, December the 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Ernie Checkard Boardroom. That's right here. The topic will be Parent Reaching Out Grants and School Success Stories. And that's it for me this evening. Thank you very much. So Section G on our agenda is information and proposals. That's part of your package you can go through. We also list future meetings. Just want to remind Trustee Clement that SAL committee tomorrow is here, that you're going to represent us. Sorry, Trustee Gibson, go ahead.
I just wanted to add, because there were some changes tonight, there is an Equity and Inclusive Education Committee meeting on November 21st. That's not listed there, at 3:30 p.m.
Okay. Equity and Inclusion meeting at November 23rd at 3:30 p.m. Ernie Checkers Boardroom here. Thank you very much, Trustee Gibson. Yeah. Okay. And Trustee McCauley, I just want to remind you that agenda setting we'll have on Thursday morning this week. Okay. Yes, sir? No, there's, I'm not sure. We are actually, Director Bourget and I are in discussion with Wayne Jodry about the next meeting, but we should have something to you fairly soon. There will be one coming up in the next couple of weeks, but that's not the case. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, so the future meetings are there, adding the equity and inclusion meeting. If there's nothing else, we can stand adjourned. So I'll need a mover that we do adjourn the meeting. Moved by Trustee Cosmerly,